Microsoft has decided that they want to lay off 9,000 American employees. That is what is being put out there. And JD Vance heard about this. So JD Vance is not happy. They keep bringing in these folks with H1-B visas. This is coming around the same time that it was found out that they used the Chinese government to help maintain DoD servers. So, you've got a company that is supposed to be an American company that is getting rid of American employees, 9,000 of them. And this is not even bringing up the thousands that were taken out of Microsoft over the years. But they keep bringing in H1B visa people. In other words, folks from outside the country to work at Microsoft. And JD Vance has heard about this, and he had a response to this. So I've got two clips for you. One is a clip from Bloomberg talking about the layoffs. Now, they don't specifically say, because it's Bloomberg, they don't say that it's American workers. But afterwards, you're going to hear the response from JD Vance on this stupidity. And then we'll talk about this a little bit here. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
So second wave, and the rationale is also pretty clear. Get rid of middle layers of management, streamline teams. Give us the size and scope.
Size and scope is that, you hear 4%, 3% a couple months ago. It doesn't sound like that much, but with Microsoft, these are huge numbers of employees. We have 15,000 people impacted across 2 waves, and there's been other little cuts in addition to that. And folks might say Microsoft, the world's most valuable company a lot of days, $96 billion in profit. Why are they doing all this? A lot of it's that AI spending, right? One day you're spending $80 billion on AI data centers and you want to keep your margins flat. In this case, that's led to some cut heads.
And Brody, the view has been actually the AI is getting so good that it means that they can start getting rid of engineers. AI is doing the job of them. But is that really where the cuts come from this time round?
I haven't seen a ton of evidence that there's that kind of direct employee replacement, but I think companies certainly want to do it, right? A vendor like Microsoft, it is selling its software, telling people, hey, you can do more with less. I think we'd be naive to think they aren't also attempting to do that internally. We saw the layoffs a couple months ago disproportionately hit software engineers.
Right, and the Microsoft spokesperson told us that in this round it will be across teams and geographies, but we know from our reporting largely which divisions. I'm thinking like Xbox, sales and marketing.
Correct. Sales and marketing are the really big ones right now, and that's because it's the end of the fiscal year, and you generally don't want to fire salespeople in the fourth quarter because you're not going to get the results you want. And so, yeah, we're seeing cuts today that I have reason to believe are focused on those sales employees, but really cuts across the company. And I think it underscores the kind of new reality of the tech market that even if you are in one of the most successful companies, jobs aren't safe the way they used to be.
A massive shortage of these jobs. And by the way, you see some big tech companies where they'll lay off 9,000 workers and then they'll apply for a bunch of overseas visas. And I sort of wonder, that doesn't totally make sense to me.
The math doesn't.
That displacement and that math worries me a bit. And what the president has said, he said very clearly, we want the very best and the brightest to make America their home. We want them to build great companies and so forth. But I don't want companies to fire 9,000 American workers and then to go and say, we can't find workers here in America. That's a bullshit story.
What did Microsoft say when you brought that up with Microsoft? Have you talked to them about it?
I have not. I just became aware of this a couple of weeks ago. Somebody sent me an article about this, and they said, well, and it maybe was Microsoft.
It was Microsoft.
That fired, I think, 9,000 people. And then I was like, wait a second.
Record profits, record market cap.
But also saying they're desperate for workers. So I have not yet had that conversation with Microsoft. In my defense, I just found out.
I will have a conversation. Now, this is something that Microsoft is consistently doing. They have decided that they don't like Americans. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure out. The only thing that they seem to care about when it comes to Americans is taking our money. You'd think I'm joking about this, but I'm not. Look into it. This is what they've been doing for all these years. And then throw in the fact that they're using the Chinese government to maintain Department of Defense servers. Bad enough that we've got folks that are willing to give up this information all the time. And there comes a point where, like me, some of what I use is Linux based now. Why? Because I really have stopped trusting Microsoft. And we need to do something about that. I mean, seriously, we need to do something about that. Why? Because government doesn't seem to want to do much about it. Yes, they fine them for different things, whatnot, but there comes a point where we need to break that monopoly. And one of the best ways to do it, learn Linux. No joke. Linux is a great, great operating system. Once you learn it, you'd be surprised at how much more secure it is and how much easier it is. Yes, it's a little bit more difficult to find all the software that you need, but once you start figuring it out, it becomes so much easier. Like I said, so much more secure. But I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Hey, hit like and subscribe. Have a good day, y'all. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.